There are things that I find, and I say some things that I find incredibly stupid. And there's no better word to explain the fact that Christians and even some Hebrew Israelites believe that it's impossible to cease from sin. It's quite disturbing on the one hand. And on the other hand, it's quite hilarious because Hasatan thinks that he's going to gain progress in deceiving the whole world. But there's a group of people that he will never be able to deceive. And that is those who believe the truth. And now I say that knowing that Christians believe that they know the truth. Hebrew Israelites believe that they know the truth. And I'm going to tell you that I believe that I know the truth. But see, I have a backing. And what backs my belief in the things that I believe is the fact that I know for a fact, I know by experience that God can deliver those who have the truth from sin. In fact, Yahushua said that himself. He said that if you know the truth will set you free. And there is nothing more liberating than being free from sinning every day. I know by experience because I struggled for 30 long years with an addiction to pornography. And in one day, I found myself broken and I sought God. And then I went back to the scriptures, reading and listening intently to find myself one day out of the blue with zero desire to do the things that was doing. Now, some moron will say, oh, well, that's just one thing. Listen to the things that you have coming out of your mouth. If God can deliver you from one thing because you are in possession of the truth, do you think you're going to be bound to anything else? He said that you will be free when you have and know the truth. Let's read James chapter 4 here for a second. And James says, what is the source of quarrels and conflicts among you? Is it not the source of your pleasures that wage war in your members? That is your lust. You lust and do not have, so you commit murder. That's the transgression of the law. You are envious and cannot obtain, so you fight and quarrel. You do not have because you do not ask. You ask and you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, so that you may spend it on your own pleasures, which leads to more sin. You adulteresses. Now, interesting that he says he calls them adulteresses. And he calls them that because as a body, the body of Yahushua Hamashiach, the bride of Hamashiach, when he calls the bride an adulteress, he is saying that she has cut herself off from being one with Hamashiach to become one with another, and that is Hasatan, which explains the things that he's explaining that is done as a result of your lust. And he says, you adulteress, do you not know that friendship with the world is hostility towards God? You want to cut yourself off from God so you can be one with the world? That's hostility towards God. Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself. The devil is not doing it. Your friends are not doing it. Your pastor that's leading you down the pit of hell with the things that he is indoctrinating you with is not doing it. You are doing it because you choose to believe the things that are taught. You choose not to go and look at the scriptures to see for yourself. You choose to do the things that you are doing. So you won't be able to blame everything on outside forces. You need to look at yourself. He says, you make yourself an enemy of God. Or do you think that the scripture speaks to no purpose? He jealously desires the spirit which he has made to dwell within us. And what that simply means is God desires for you to have the truth because that's what he made to dwell within you, the truth. And then you can only get the truth through the spirit which he made dwell in you. And he's speaking not to sinners who do not know Hamashiach. He's speaking to those who first off heard the basic message of the gospel, who repented supposedly of their sins, who became one with Hamashiach's death in the baptism of Hamashiach, and who was baptized by the Spirit and became born again. Well, supposedly became born again. Verse 6, he says, but he gives a greater grace or favor. Therefore, it says, God is opposed to the proud, but gives grace, favor to the humble. Submit, therefore, to God. In other words, put away your lust that has you committed murder because you do not have. Put away your envy because you're looking at the rich in this world and you cannot obtain the level of wealth that they have. So you fight and quarrel, and put away the asking with wrong motives and ask with the correct motives so you can share with your community. That is the community of believers, both Hebrew Israelite and Gentiles. He says, submit to God, submit therefore to God, resist the devil. He says, resist the devil because the devil is the one behind the things that you desire. He whispers in your ear to get you to move on your impulses of the flesh. He says, resist the devil. The thoughts that come to your mind, cast them down. The impulses that come to your flesh because of an image that you saw, cast it down. They all begin with thoughts. They all begin with thoughts. And he will flee from you. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. Cleanse your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Now, purifying your hearts, that is making your mind ritually clean so you're not thinking those nasty thoughts that Yahushua says is the thing that defiles a man. An unclean and impure heart is the heart that's always going to doubt the message concerning the truth. Be miserable and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned into mourning and your joy into gloom. Humble yourselves in the presence of Yahuwah, and he will exalt you. Shalom.